analytics classes for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone, Rob Watson. It is Monday, December 29th, 2025. Good morning, fellas. We're here on a Victory Monday, our 4th one and maybe the last one of what has been a long, tumultuous Cleveland Browns season. Good morning, Jack. I'll start with you. How are you today?
I'm feeling great. Hey, we got a Browns win over the Steelers. You can't beat that. We got the Cavs around the cock tonight, so that's always fun. We got some big stuff going on in Cleveland.
They're on a what?
They're on Peacock.
Oh.
Spurs.
Okay.
Wemby.
Got you.
Big one.
Rob, anyway, what's up?
Bro, I'm doing good. I'm happy. I lost my voice a little bit at the game yesterday, but amazing time. Very happy this morning.
Nick, how are you?
Yeah, dude, it's great to beat the Steelers. How about it? Feels really good.
Well, it was a grimy, gutsy win for our Cleveland Browns. Now 4-12 Cleveland Browns as they play spoiler against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. Steelers drop to 9-7 as they look to clinch their first AFC North title since 2020, that Week 18 primetime game Sunday night against the Baltimore Ravens. For our Cleveland Browns, 13 points was all it took to secure the victory in this one. Shedeur Sanders, 186 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. One of the ugliest throws I've ever seen in my whole entire life. But, hey, it comes with a W, the good and the bad. That's kind of been the theme with Shedeur Sanders throughout his starts here at Cleveland. I don't want to start there yet. I want to start about the overall game, guys. Cleveland Browns get, well, you know, this is interesting. This is the time of the year where fans are divided. So I guess I'll start with the question that everybody's talking about this week. Was this win good for the Cleveland Browns? Did it establish culture? You always want to win your division games. You never like to see you lose to the Steelers. But then again, for the people that think we need a quarterback, it's not good because he dropped from the 3rd pick to now the 6th pick, which means you're likely going to miss out on a Fernando Mendoza or a Dante Moore if you do elect to not trade up.
Don't care.
There's
a reason why they schedule the NFL draft in April and why the games go on from anywhere between late August to early September through the first week of January. Like, you worry about the draft in April when it's draft time. And sure, there's probably some nerd with a spreadsheet somewhere up in a high office full of glass in Berea that was upset that they won that game yesterday, but that's too damn bad. You know, and like I thought Joel Bitonio articulated himself beautifully after the game. When those guys go out there, they want to win. It's been a brutal year for us as fans, and I know that a lot of people look towards the draft and look towards the quarterback class as the path forward, but for those guys that go out there every single Sunday, like, and the coaching staff too, they're trying to win. They are trying to win. They've put their entire lives into this, and they have not won much. 3 wins last year, 4 wins this year, and ultimately in the grand scheme, does it change things? No. Is this a game that rewrites the culture of Cleveland Browns football forever? No. We can be real about what this is. We can't be naive to the situation, but when you have an opportunity to win and you have an opportunity to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, you do it. You win, you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you worry about the rest later. I thought it was a good game out of the Browns, really. Offense, defense, was a little gaff on special teams, but that's to be expected. Overall, I was pleased with what I've seen in back-to-back weeks where you hang in there against the Buffalo Bills, you go out there and beat the Steelers where it looked like Stefanski, outside of one bad 4th down play call, like really out-coached Mike Tomlin, I thought. Like, really good win. So the fact that people are like up in arms over this here today, it's like, come on, they won. Like, I get, you could be upset about the big picture. You could be upset that this is still a 4-win team that just came off a 3-win season a year ago, and that's probably not enough growth year to year. And what all of it means, we could figure it all out in weeks and shows to come. But for today, I can't find myself getting upset about this because they beat the Steelers.
You know why, too? And we talked about this throughout the year. The stink that we didn't want to get on the players, I don't see that on any of the rookies. Harold Fandon went out there with one leg and gave us one good drive and gave us a touchdown, what ultimately won us to the game. Carson Schlesinger in the locker room after the game saying, I'd rather die than not go out there. He said, if I could walk, I'll be out there playing. That's the type of stuff you want to see from players on this team. And it shows you that Browns losing culture hasn't affected us yet. If the team wanted to lose that bad, they would have took the Raiders route. You would have been benching people. People would have been out. All the injuries. You wouldn't have let Harold Fannin go out there on a tweaked groin that he tweaked like 3 days ago. Schlesinger's been hurt 4 weeks. Ever since he messed up his ankle, he's been cooked. I see people out there talking trash, getting taunting penalties. You don't see that from a team that's out of it and doesn't care. And quite frankly, if you're upset that we lost the game, you just got to get over it, because if the players are out there, they're going to play to win the game. You're not going to get them to go out there and lose and lay down. You can't do nothing about it. So you got to win. You can now say you improved from next year, and now you got to figure out what you're going to do from where you are. As it stands, it looks like it might not even be a top 5 pick. So now look at who's going to be there at 6, 7, 8, wherever you might pick. You got to just go from there, figure it out. But it's the reality we live in. Like, you cannot be mad about something that's uncontrollable. They won the game, so.
And there's a reason they play these. Like they're doing the same thing in New York right now, you know, because the Giants won that game against the Raiders, who actively weren't trying. Like here's the unfortunate part about this. Your defense was always way too talented for you to have a number 1 or number 2 overall pick in the draft.
You can't sit a guy going for a record.
Yeah, and like
all
Myles
his
Garrett's
teammates are
going
to want to be out there with him.
Denzel Ward's trying to prove that he's not this injury.
They want to be all pro players. There's bonuses. Like, people are going to keep playing. It's the worst storm for a tank ever. Everyone
they were never tanking. I don't know where that came from. That was such a fan created thing that they were tanking, because people were trying to justify how bad this season has been. But remember, they told you ahead of the year that this was a year where they expected to win games. This was a game where they were trying to win games early with their veteran quarterbacks. And then as they entered evaluation mode with the young guys on the roster, I think they saw that there was a lot of talent in this rookie class, certainly. And with this defense, they knew that they were going to be able to win some games. And really what this makes you do is it makes you aggravated about the 5 games in the middle of the season that were a complete waste. Like, had you been able to beat the Bengals week 1, beat the Minnesota Vikings out there in London, beat the Steelers the first time you played them, where they deployed a very similar, safe, boring, vanilla, generic game plan because they didn't want Myles Garrett to wreck the game. Those were all winnable games on the schedule in an AFC that's wide open. Of course, hindsight's always 20/20, but like, for the people that want to be up in arms today after a win,
brain, bro. No one at the stadium felt that way.
It's like, dude,
not a single person.
They won the game. Like for one day, we can actually put down the mock drafts, and there'll be plenty of time to pick them up in April, and we could look at Carnell Tate, and we could, now, I see the trendy thing is that people may be warming up to the idea of Caleb Downs if you're not all in on an offensive lineman or a receiver. Like, there's plenty of time to do draft talk, but for one day, could we be excited about what they were able to do? We begged for decades for them to be able to handle their business against the Steelers, and they're finally doing it somewhat consistently. So you're not going to catch me complaining really at all.
Mini note on your Caleb Downs. This is the last year of Hickman's contract, right? Is that where that would come in?
He was an undrafted guy. Like, if they want to bring him back, they can.
Listen, winning is certainly the best cologne. We all know that. Tyson Campbell had a tremendous game. That trade for Greg Newsome looks great. Alex Wright stepped up in a huge way. He had the clutch sack that, I believe that was the play to where they forced the field goal. Chris Boswell ends up missing that. That ends up being a huge deciding factor in this game, obviously. Carson Schlesinger, you mentioned, the heart out there battling, hobbled the one throw over him that Aaron layered over to Pat Freiermuth. You could tell Carson was hobbling. Obviously, he's out there playing with heart, playing for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. This defense is tremendous. Do you guys think, though, the offense? Nick, I know you said it was good, right? But it wasn't great. I think that's safe to say.
No, this entire season, and that's the thing. We're like, for today, you're allowed to be happy that they beat the Steelers. However, like, some of the plans that I'm sure they were working on behind closed doors, whether it be to add competition to the quarterback room or bolster their offensive line, receiver, make a change at head coach, make a change at coordinator, something's still got to change, because the results ultimately, their whole thing is process over results. Yesterday, big day for the process, because it showed you could play good defense even with a somewhat inept offense and find a way to get a positive result. But in the macro, you've only won 4 games here, so there is still that conversation that's going to need to be had, because I agree with you. Like, while it's good, net positive, you beat the Steelers. However, we could get the magnifying glass out and look at this, and there were certainly a ton of areas for improvement, really all on the offensive side of the football and special teams. Again, of course, that's to be expected. Not really as much on the defense.
But if good is good enough on a day, you gotta take it. Are we mad that good was good enough, or are we mad that we didn't win by 3 scores?
I mean, I'm certainly not mad. A win's a win. But there are people, and I'm probably more so in this camp than your guys' camp, of the fact of it feels good now, but let's say a week from now, right? Steelers, whether or not, I'm not too worried about the Steelers' success or not. Like, I need to be worried about my Cleveland Browns being good. That's besides the point. Like, when we're sitting here in the offseason rattling about whether or not Shedeur Sanders is the guy or not, and then we have to go through maybe another tumultuous season where we're in this purgatory of, like 2010 to 2017, you average like 4 wins a year for 7 years. Like, is that the route we're headed down? And I guess maybe this leads to my next question of the man leading the group, right? Did Sunday's win at all change, in your opinion, Kevin Stefanski's future in Cleveland?
I don't
For
think
the good or the bad.
I don't think it necessarily changed anyone's head on where they're at right now, but I do think as things build up and you find a way to win a rivalry game and you have respected veterans like Joel Bitonio coming to bat for a coach, I do think there's scenarios where it becomes harder to pull the trigger on firing someone. I don't know if, like, yesterday is going to be well, never mind. We're not going to fire the guy anymore. Like, that was a huge win. Let's switch it on back. Hey, we're going back Kevin next year. But I do think that if you win again next week, I know the game is irrelevant. Both teams aren't going to the playoffs. But if you get a little win string to end the year and things are going okay and maybe some more guys come out to bat, I think it's a hard thing to do.
What did I say? I said something on Sunday like he wasn't safe, but now he's like more alive. Like, so it helps. You can't say it doesn't help to get a big win over the Steelers in a situation where it was a game that mattered for them. You got everyone to come out and play a game where we thought everyone was going to lay down. I still have many of the gripes with this guy, but the one thing he's proved is, one, you could beat the Steelers at home, which is a big thing in this town, and two, the players do not give up on him. They're playing hard late into the season. So it's two things to be said. That still doesn't change my mind that the offense has been quite mid now under him for a very long time, and I think something has to change there. It does. The win brings a little more into question, though. It depends how it would look next week in Cincinnati. But if you get momentum to end the year, it definitely does help you a little bit.
Here's the thing. I said this on the radio, and I genuinely believe this to be true. And this is where we're at, and it's kind of going to upset a lot of fans and a lot of people in the media, but this is just the genuine where the Browns are at reality of the situation. Their mind is probably already made up on Kevin Stefanski, and it all depends on stuff that we haven't seen, what we'll never know, and stuff that's all gone on behind the scenes. How dug in was he on not seeing Shedeur Sanders this year and not wanting to work with the guy? How much was he really behind Dillon Gabriel? How much was he really behind some of the fallout with, Baker Mayfield and Joe Flacco? And how, when he said that the Joe Flacco trade surprised him, and a lot of people thought that was the first fracture in his relationship with Andrew Berry, what's that relationship look like present day? What's that relationship look like in the weeks between that comment till now? Like, I think it's going to depend on a lot of what's gone on behind the scenes. And the reason why is Haslam's willing to give a leash to pretty much anybody. Like, Hugh Jackson got an extension after 1-31. So it's the infighting is when the Browns feel like they have to make changes. And we've seen a bit of infighting this year. We have, because Kevin wasn't really on board with what the rest of the organization wanted to do by all reports. Now, maybe he signed up for it. Maybe he's seen what Shedeur Sanders can do, and maybe he can, understand his own situation and realize, hey, I should probably sign up to be a fan of this guy. Otherwise, I'm going to be on the way out. But I genuinely feel like this all boils down to what's the current state of that alignment that they always preach. Why did Andrew Berry miss his bye-week press conference? We never really got an answer to that. Why did Kevin Stefanski, for the first time, when he never says anything, go out there and say that, the Deshaun Watson practice window thing wasn't up to him, and the Joe Flacco trade took him by? Like, there's been so many little strange things. Bubba Ventrone is firing shots across about not having enough talent on the roster. You got to imagine those comments came from somewhere, and probably his boss, and that's the head coach. So, like, I wonder what's going on behind closed doors. And it feels like such a cop-out answer to give, but I feel like that's truly, genuinely what this boils down to. Because if his working relationship with Andrew Berry is still good, then they can still be a path forward for these guys in Cleveland. But if there's inner fighting and these guys aren't on the same page, and if some of these, reports that have gone public are true, then yeah, it probably is still time for that change. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can't buy into that game, winning that game, having an effect on who should be your head coach next year. Like I'm happy the Browns won, sure, but like I'm not overly joyed just because they beat the Steelers. Like again, it was your defense bailing you out. You were playing a team who, and Mike Tomlin said they weren't trying to do anything different to avoid Myles Garrett setting the sack record, whatever. Even beyond that, like you have a quarterback who's thrown 7 interceptions in his last 3 games, right? One win came against a team when I don't know why they didn't continue to run the ball with Jaylen Warren. I don't know why
Agreed.
that 4th down was a weird, you threw a fade back in the end zone to Scotty Miller. That was a strange play call. Like everything that could have went wrong, the Steelers just shot themselves in the foot. That's the reason you won. You had a missed field goal. It's just a continuation of a theme the Browns have been the last couple of years is your defense is winning you games.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it's a win, but it's a completely meaningless game because I'm not concerning myself with whether the Steelers go to the playoffs or not. Like I'm not going to base my happiness off of another team. Nothing about that win made me feel better about the Browns' future. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
What's one game gonna do for that though?
Yeah, I don't think there was ever going to be
game.
like
Yeah.
even if they would have beat Buffalo last week, you probably don't. It's the right.
You were
You're right.
You were
thinking.
you were
You
Nick,
are right.
You were
in your
Nick
thinking.
Herbig, I believe it was, catching that ball from that game being completely flipped to Shedeur Sanders. I don't know if he was going to pick it up from there, but like that was a horrible decision. Again, that like I just go back. I know he played great against the Titans, but it's horrible decision making is what it is. And it's just it just doesn't make me feel good about our future at the most important position in sports.
So could we take things the Shedeur route here? Because here's the thing with that, right? And again, it's unfortunate people don't want to hear this because they're sick and tired of waiting, and I get it. And he's not a first-round pick; he's a 5th-round pick. And what 5th-round pick do you see gets this kind of lead? You don't, Ryan. I hear you on all of that. But we've given up on these dudes time and again, and this guy actually has shown a bit of promise. So I think that in the back of somebody's mind somewhere, there's let's see what he can do. Let's see if we could try to make this our own Josh Allen, which I know is a crazy comp to throw out there, but that was a player that had a ton of holes in his game his rookie year, and he held onto the football for a long time, and he took a lot of bad sacks, and he threw a lot of bad, bizarre, head-scratching interceptions that wanted you to just rip your hair out when you watched Josh Allen as a rookie, but he slowly figured things out, and they slowly found ways to lean more into those strengths and more into what made him a good quarterback. Like a big thing about franchise quarterback in the NFL, it is pedigree, and for the most part, they are first-round picks. Again, I'm not trying to be naive to that point, but another big factor in all of it, no pun intended, is the environment. It's the coaching. It's the development. It's how they bring these guys along, and I think they did finally bring Shedeur along slowly. They threw him out on the field before the head coach thought that he was ready, and they're developing him in real time at the seat of his pants on the fly, and he shows you good things. The Harold Fandon throw was awesome. He stood up there in the heat of pressure. Harold Fandon made a tremendous adjustment to that, don't get me wrong. And then the Herbig throw was absolutely disgusting. You can't do it. The jackpot throw to Jerry Jeudy, who probably should have played a little bit better defensive back, but he's a lazy player.
Know who he is. Know who you're throwing to.
We know who
that guy is.
Again, that dumb decision. You'd never make that throw across your body, across the field. That's Madden. But again, like with an entire offseason, with an entire, preseason of work and more competition, like it's only going to make him sharper to dial back some of those dumb decisions. So like, I'm with you, Ryan. Well, of course you want, if you could have flailed your way into one of these Mendoza or Dante Moore, even that would have been a risk though. How many times have those guys not been what they lived up to be? How many number 1 overall picks have already flamed out and are on different teams dating back to when the Browns drafted Baker? I think Joe Burrow and Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence are the only 3 that have actually stuck around. So like, it's never a guarantee. It's always some facet of risk. And I actually think Shedeur has shown enough promise where he's played his way into being an option. And for all these people that like hate him, and like they are going to add competition. Like there are ways more so than just drafting somebody with the number 1 or number 2 overall pick in the draft where you could solve quarterback. Like it's not just going to be Shedeur by default next year.
Shedeur now has, of course, the odds of him being your starting quarterback just jumped tremendously with the win. We know that. But it's like, are you going to stick with Shedeur because you really believe he's the guy? Or are you going to stick with them because now you're kind of forced into that?
Well, and I don't think either. I don't think either. They could be the team that makes the Mac Jones trade. They could be the Malik Willis team. They could be the team that, trades up from. How about this? The reason why they made the Travis Hunter trade last year was because they understood. Remember, this was their words, not mine. They said that they were better than a 3-14 team. They were never going to be able to draft that franchise quarterback because they were better than the 3 wins they put on display last year. So they made that trade with Jacksonville to get the extra first-round pick so they'd have enough ammo to trade up. Now, that might be hard because 2 of the teams in front of you need a quarterback, and the Jets have more ammunition than anybody. So the Jets could have always sabotaged this thing, especially if the Browns would have had that number 2 pick and not the number 1 pick. It was always up to the Jets to sabotage everything. So like there are so many variables and there's so much time between now and these decisions being made. Like there are always going to be ways. How about Deshaun Watson could be another name that could be out there as a reclamation project for this team next year. Like they have so many avenues that they can go down if they're afraid to give Shedeur that entire 17 games. And honestly, Ryan, I think that they will. I think that like you never see a 5th round pick who is polarizing, yes, and is certainly more talented than where he was selected. I think that goes without saying. He's shown more promise than the 3rd round draft pick that they've drafted, and it's not even remotely close. However, like what is this going to be? Sam Howell and the Commanders? Like that's the only other example of a guy that was a 5th round pick and then got all of next season. Usually you don't see that. Usually you see them add some sort of competition. So whether it's Kirk Cousins, Mac Jones, Malik Willis, Deshaun Watson, there's going to be other options than just default Shedeur.
It's going to be 12-4-8. I think you could give up on the quarterback thing now. Especially with I think the Jets are at 3.
Oh, so you think Dylan's back too?
I don't know. Or draft a 5th round guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's your extra competition and like some vet. But I don't know why you would do it because you still got to pay Mr. Big Bucks, so he's going to be the vet in the locker room. It's unfortunate. For those who like wanted the quarterback, I thought you were going to fall into it. That's what I was saying was I accepted that if they had a top 2 pick, it's going to probably be quarterback, and that's what it looked like until they won a game. Now they're not. I don't think it is because I still think the top 2 guys were going to be, well, we're here, so we might as well. I haven't seen anyone say you must go do it. So I don't see a trade up being a possibility. So at the same time, the argument you make for Shedeur, I can make for the rookies that we would have drafted. Like I haven't heard one guy. I know people are going to warm up to it. They're going to scout. They're going to say, oh, it's a solid player. Boom, boom, boom. No one was saying, man, this guy is the guy. Like, I haven't heard of Luck. I haven't heard of Newton. I haven't heard of Burrow. Like, there hasn't been any of that through the process. So it was still going to be like, oh, well, we think, like, 7 or 8 out of 10 times out of 10 maybe, or 6 or 7 to 8 out of 10 times. But now it's Shedeur. You're going to get what the other people wanted. You're going to probably have to go get a receiver. When's the last time the Browns done that? The same thing we could say about quarterback is the same thing we could never say we have anyone for him to throw to. We haven't taken a receiver in the top 10 since, I think, Braylon Edwards, and that was about 21 years ago now. So
and
you're
Ryan,
going to go get that.
Like, people will find ways to poke holes, to Rob, to your point, in literally anything. Like Dante Moore, who I think was like consensus, if it wasn't going to be Shedeur, we were probably more into Dante Moore because of the upside. He's had a year of starting college football at Oregon. Like, that's not a proven commodity. Fernando Mendoza, 27 of his 33 touchdowns came against Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois, Michigan State, UCLA, Wisconsin, and Purdue. Only threw 6 against Iowa, Oregon, Penn State, Maryland, and the Buckeyes. So, like, that's not a proven thing there. And sure, one of those 2 guys will go on and have a nice year and a nice career in the National Football League. But again, it's coaching. It's environment. It's culture.
Are you confident whoever goes to the Jets is going to just be
the
Gucci?
Jets, the Raiders? These places are football wastelands. So
just like us.
There's no such thing as an absolute home run guarantee.
100%. I can't deny that. 100%. I guess my thing is, they are unproven. And Shedeur still is unproven. I'm not saying that this is some sample size where we can go and stamp some label on Shedeur. A new coach, a whole offseason with first team reps. We can talk about that all day long. Can he improve? Yeah. But from what I've seen, like I almost want to rather trade up for one of the unknown commodities who I haven't seen take step on an NFL field that I think could have been better in this situation than Shedeur Sanders has been, who doesn't have 7 interceptions in his last 3 games, who hasn't shown me his lack of play. I don't want to say lack of playmaking because Shedeur has had some nice throws, obviously downfield, but the ability to consistently read a defense, I'd rather take the risk, continue to take a risk on a quarterback until I maybe luck my way. A lot of it is luck, right? Until I luck my way into one of them, whether it's Dante Moore, whether it's Fernando Mendoza. I don't think from what I've seen from Shedeur Sanders in these 6, I don't want to make that joke. Was it 6, 7 games?
It's like the 7th.
From what
start 7th game.
The decision making is very poor.
And the Browns,
for a rookie in his 6th game, what do you expect?
I'm not saying that he can't get better.
I bet we'll say the same thing about the next guy. By the 4th, 5th
very
game,
possible.
it'll be.
That's what we've been doing. But my point is,
no, but he could.
All we're doing is headed down towards this purgatory.
But you're saying the decision.
We've been in
making.
purgatory.
He's played 5, 6 games. What do you expect from a rookie in his 6th start in the year?
Yeah, I'm not saying that it couldn't be the same thing if we drafted Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza. I'm just saying there's a chance that it isn't the same thing, and he looks wildly better.
It could, but I'm telling you,
to
even
play
in that
devil's
scenario,
advocate.
a guy could have 10 touchdowns and 2 picks, and those could be 2 of the worst rookie interceptions you've ever seen in your life, is all I'm saying, is that I feel like we're harping on that. And he has turned the ball over a lot. He's got to learn. But I feel like I would give that grace to any rookie by the whole first year, really. They got to make mistakes. They got to see a lot of stuff.
To play
and I think it could be a lot worse than what we're seeing.
The objective here is to win a Super Bowl. It's not to win a couple of games in December against a bad Super Bowl.
That's my point. Can I say 100% that Shedeur Sanders isn't going to evolve into the next superstar in the NFL? No. Do I think it's more likely not to happen? Of course I do. I think that's the sentiment unless you're a Shedeur stan. I think there's a better chance Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza turn into that.
Yeah, like the objective is to win a Super Bowl. And Ryan, like again, and I'm not trying to play both sides, but it's where we're at right now. And again, this is a good thing. They have options. If they want to go into next year with Shedeur Sanders, that's an option. If they want to try to upgrade, they have that option because they have ammunition to make a trade or to trade up or to trade back. They can do a number of things, and that's good. It's good to have options. But the macro of what I'm saying is, like, the Super Bowl is the objective. Only one team gets to do that every year. Like, all the people that wanted to go retread route. Well, retread quarterback has never won a Super Bowl. Not yet. It's been the hot, flashy thing to do because we've seen Sam Darnold save his career. We've seen Baker Mayfield the year prior. Like, we've had all of these guys change teams, but, like, that hasn't equated to a Super Bowl yet, even though that's the hot, flashy thing to do.
We've actually seen a late-round draft pick get closer to a Super Bowl than a retread. Oddly enough, bro.
So there are different paths that these teams can take, and it's actually like, and I'm as down and out about the Browns in the long term and in the big picture as anybody, because the team has won 7 games over the last 2 seasons. So it's nothing to sit here and go, woohoo, we love the Browns. Now we're bringing our pom-poms out to cheerlead for these guys. But it's just that oftentimes the avenue to win a Super Bowl is not clear, and like it usually isn't for teams that finally break through. So like I think this is probably just part of the Browns breakthrough, and whether it's Shedeur or not, like there's a good chance that it's not. He could at least be part of the foundation towards building this thing back up from the absolute bottom of the barrel where we were a couple of weeks ago because of this Deshaun Watson cesspool that we find ourselves
Call
in.
me crazy too. I don't think the percent chances of either of those two being a franchise guy are that much higher. And that's not a slight. Like, I think it's a lot closer between all those 3 than you would think. And I'll take the guy in-house versus now having to draft up. That's really where I'm at, because I'm going to always play the thing in my mind, what's the best scenario moving forward. And on today, where we now have the 6th pick, it's definitely not trading up. It's stacking up what we could get, giving him the whole offseason, seeing what he's got next year, actually having some talent on offense. He has one less pick yesterday if he had a blind side. Cam Robinson, we've been watching the film. That joint is outrageous. He's terrible. Won't see me defend throwing late to the flat in the rain. Won't see me defend throwing it up across your body. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. But as it stands right now, he's the guy if you're going to go forward, that's the best, one of the best options you could have if you want to improve the team holistically next year and have a quarterback. It's probably him.
I guess just to wrap it all up, like my point being is I traded back last year. I have 2 firsts this year. well, I'm going to use those 2 first to go get the most important position.
I
in
just think
sports.
that'll be impossible, though.
And it could be.
I really do think
be.
that will.
It could be right
yeah.
because the Raiders are going to. The Raiders are taking a quarterback at 1. There's
the
no
Jets
bones
are only
about
gonna
it.
have to move
And the
up one
Jets
spot
probably have more to offer
as
to
it
a team like the
stands
Giants
right
and the Browns do. I agree with that. I think it's probably unlikely that the Browns are going to have the ability to do that. I'm just saying if they do, and they should, you have that opportunity to trade your 2 firsts or go get Dante Moore for Fernando Mendoza. I'm doing it 10 out of 10 times. Until I hit on it, nothing else matters. Until I hit on a quarterback that changes my team, nothing else matters. We're going to be sitting here next year, another 5-6 win season, and we're going to be having the same thing. What do we do with our first round pick? You hope you're able to. Well, at that point, you won't be able in the first 5-10 picks. And again, you can find your quarterback. It doesn't have to be the first, second one off the board in the top 5 picks. History will tell you it should be. But it doesn't have to be.
Let's take your temperature now. How many picks are you willing to give up to move up to 2? Because it's gonna be more than 2. It's gonna be more than the 2.
It would probably have to be like 6, Jacksonville's pick, and then
a first
round in 2027.
Because the Jets are moving up 1 spot, we're moving up 4, as it stands right now. But everyone who just jumped us is tanking.
Here's the thing, I'm glad I don't have to make the decision, and I'm not in the weeds on the scouting department. But if the Browns actually do think that Dante Moore is capable of being the next great franchise quarterback in the NFL, then those picks don't matter. You trade them 10 out of 10
Might
times.
have to go up to 1 to get him. So now that might be 3 or 4 picks.
Right, and then then you don't do it. And then, Shedeur kind of played us out of it. Then
I just think that's really where we are right now, is that the asking price is going to be going too high for 2 guys that I don't think everyone's sold on. Even though one has a lot of promise. In my opinion, just one. The other's kind of solid.
Oh, we got one more week to see where we end up drafting. All right, I got to tell everybody about Garage Beer before we move on. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste, and that is beer-flavored beer. So scan the QR code now. Go get their website or visit drinkgaragebeer.com. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. That is drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, guys, week 17 of the NFL in the books. Hard to believe just 1 week left in this regular season. We talked about the Steelers-Browns. Let's go around the league, look at some of the other games with some big implications. Guys, the fall-off of Baker Mayfield this season needs to be studied. Dolphins, they get a victory 20-17. Buccaneers can still make the playoffs if they do. I believe they'll be the 7th team ever to make the playoffs with a losing record. It comes down to that Week 18 matchup against the Panthers. Panthers kept it close against the Seahawks in the first half. I believe it was tied 3-3. Seahawks, Sam Darnold run away with it in the second half. They get the win 27-10. Buccaneers or the Panthers are going to be hosting a playoff game. Who do you guys think it's going to be?
Panthers. Give me Panthers. I think both the teams that just won this week and are going into next week with the momentum are going to win their winning getting games. But the Panthers, they got it all riding right now. Baker, like you said, it's just been a downslide. They're grabbing onto anything left. Regardless of who goes in, I think they're probably going to get smoked in the first round. But I believe in Bryce Young, the young guys, Dowdle, Ted McMillan to go out there and get a dub versus the Bucs.
Could they trade Baker this offseason? I mean,
I mentioned that
genuine question. I mean, he's been that bad, and like at one point in the season, it wasn't his fault, but now it's officially his fault.
I think they're only like someone can fact check me on this. I think they're, I believe, like only like 5 games above 500 in his Tampa Bay tenure, which is like ridiculous considering how just traditionally bad the NFC South is too. But I'm gonna go with Bryce Young and the Panthers too, just for the agent of chaos, see the world burn. Baker trade talks. Baker, Shedeur, Deshaun, a rookie.
Imagine that
Mac
quarterback.
Jones, Malik Willis. We might bring in all of them.
Wow.
All righty, well, the Bills, they fall 12-13 to the Eagles. Josh Allen leads the comeback, but it falls just short as they fail the 2-point conversion to try and go for the win. Bills now lose the AFC East because of that. Patriots blow out the Jets. New England now AFC East champions for the first time since Tom Brady. I want to say 2020 was the last year they won the division. Drake May, second in the MVP favorites. It seems like Stafford might run away with it. Minus 250 on FanDuel Sportsbook. Drake May's the only other one close in that stratosphere at plus 200. A little bit of changing of the guard there, do you guys think, in the AFC East? Or do we see Josh Allen and the Bills bouncing back next year, win the division?
It's another guy that needs help. That's something that we've been saying for how many years now? Ever since Stephon Diggs has been gone. It's just not enough in Buffalo, in my opinion. And people were picking them as the AFC champ this year because by default, I think it's impossible. I don't think he's banged up now too. I just don't see it. Your top guy can't be Khalil Shakir and Mr. I Love Cookies and think you're gonna get somewhere. Guys need weapons. You need someone consistent to throw to. It can't be Dalton Kincaid. That's a good second, third option, not a first. It's not. And they improved the defense a little bit. Like Bosa's made his little splash plays here and there. but it's just quite simply not enough, and it just hasn't been. And we're gonna keep having that conversation with Buffalo till they get enough out there, and that fan base is going to keep getting tortured because they just simply haven't done enough.
My call of the day for the Bills is that they have to get rid of those red jerseys. One, because I thought they were the Patriots when I turned on the TV, just because it looked just like the Patriots, I thought. Two, I've only seen them wear them twice this year. It was yesterday and when they got, do you remember when they got killed by the Patriots at home on Thursday night? I think it was a Thursday night game. So they got to disband those, get rid of them. That's my only take.
Alrighty, the Texans, they're the hottest team in the NFL right now, guys. I think 7 straight wins. They beat the Chargers 20-16. The Texans still fighting for the division in the AFC South. Jacksonville does have a game lead, and they do play the Titans in the final week, so it's likely the Jacksonville Jaguars will win that division, but the Texans already locked in a playoff spot. AFC North, this is where it gets interesting. Ravens beat the Packers without Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, a career day. We know our Steelers lost to the Browns, so it comes down to that Week 18 Sunday night football, last game of the regular season for the winner of the AFC North. We don't know yet if Lamar Jackson is going to go or not. Tyler Huntley, though, the last Ravens quarterback to win in Acrisure Stadium. Fun fact, Ravens or Steelers for the AFC North. Steelers looking to win it for the first time since 2020.
How about Roger Goodell kind of getting the last laugh on these
He
Week
cooked it up.
18s,
He cooked it up after
two
a humiliating Christmas.
Yeah, two pivotal winning in, like this one on Sunday Night Football. Like count out Big Raj, but he'll always find a way to get the last
I don't know
laugh.
who I saw say it, but what do you guys think of this? Like, even if Lamar's healthy, I'm hearing Ravens fans saying start Snoop, like no matter what, like put him out there.
I think that's idiocracy.
Wild. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, when even if he's not 100%, is a top 5 player on the planet. You're in a win or go home game. You're starting Lamar Jackson.
I've been hearing people.
Is
There's
this in
talk out
Baltimore
there.
or is it in Pittsburgh?
There's some people
even
hot
if
in
you still
Baltimore
have to
right
have the
now.
same game plan, lean on Derrick Henry, get the ball out quick. Like
I think
in
they'll
those
win.
moments where you need a Lamar Jackson-esque play to win a game like this, probably you can't start.
He hasn't been Lamar this
He
year.
hasn't.
Though.
He
It's like
hasn't.
he looks a lot slower, a lot more
drafted him in
hesitant to
fantasy.
run.
I sure know that.
He hasn't been Lamar this year. I think the Ravens win regardless. The Steelers are reeling. That is the most typical thing ever.
Dude.
And this is how you fall into not. What are they? Are they 8-8 or
They're 9 and
there it is.
9-7 right now.
The 9-8
They did it
season
again.
is locked.
The 9
There
and
it
8
is.
9-8.
There it
perfect
is.
score.
Death, taxes, Steelers 9-8.
I think the Ravens that win this one. I mean, we're gonna be looking if
Beautiful
they do
hate
lose this
watch.
game.
Oh,
we're
man.
looking back at that DK moment where he punches the fan. I was shocked he got suspended 2 games. I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna get 1, and even
Same.
when he appealed it, they kept it to 2.
Same.
Like last time the Ravens played the Steelers, DK Metcalf had his best game in a black and gold uniform. Without him, you see what it is. I don't know if Calvin Austin will be back, but regardless,
won't help much.
it's DK Metcalf and then just a bunch of guys. Like they need DK Metcalf.
Adam
I got
Thielen
I got the
exists.
Ravens winning this one, and then and at that point, I mean, the talk about Mike Tomlin getting fired it's like throwing kerosene on a fire.
Could we have got Tomlin fired with that win?
Absolutely.
That really might would.
Streets were talking about
you feel better
that
about
might-
the future, right?
He's right. That might be the one. That could be it. Because if they don't get in, that's what everyone's going to turn and look to.
You know,
and that
Andrew
horrendous
Berry,
game plan.
and
I can't
quietly,
get over
you know,
it,
he
bro.
said Andrew Berry must be smarter than all of us. The
Oh, they
two
get
games
back.
that
Oh, they
sealed
get
his
back.
fate.
Ah.
Andrew Berry, and maybe they needed each other, man. Maybe Mike Tomlin, Andrew Berry unite forces, and that's the super mega galaxy laser eyes.
Wow.
Last game with implications. We saw the 49ers take care of the Bears in what was a wild, wacky, high-scoring game. 49ers get the last laugh. They win 42-38. Bears already clinched up the NFC North, but for the 49ers, they have a Week 18 game against the Seattle Seahawks. This one is not only for that division. This is for the number 1 overall seed. 49ers or the Seahawks. Who we got?
Brock Purdy
Seahawks.
was stellar.
He was Dougie.
yesterday, and that Dougie is
He
so
hit it.
tough. I said it when he hit it versus us.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the variations now too, bro. Oh, I'm not taking Sam Darnold in any game that matters ever. So yes, give me the 49ers.
Me neither. 49ers
Like-
could quietly be the last team standing this year.
Which,
Brock
if
is cooking.
I had this conversation a little bit with Bruce. You know, Bruce didn't give me a direct answer. He says, well, we got to see. Well, it's point of predicting, Bruce. But my point was, I don't know if there's ever been a more open Coach of the Year race. Like Mike Vrabel. Well, think about this. I'll tell you why. Mike Vrabel, obviously,
is
probably
in
the
there.
hands-on favorite. But if Kyle Shanahan wins the number 1 seed, goes and beats
the
the 13-win Seahawk without Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, George Kittle was out yesterday. They still put up 42 points. What he's been doing in San Francisco on the verge of a 13 They'd be a 13-win season, a number 1 overall seed in the NFC. I think you'd have to give
There's
that
a lot of
consideration.
coaches that actually deserve it. The
That's
coach
what
in
You
Seattle.
could name Ben Johnson, but again, it kind of gets
Yeah, Ben
dismayed in the back
Johnson.
because of
I
this.
would say
Liam
D'Amico
Cohen.
Ryans again,
D'Amico
bringing them
Ryans,
back.
Liam Cohen, like
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. There's
All
so
these
many
coaches are
that I
having
could
great
make an argument
years.
for. I think it comes down to Vrabel and Kyle Shanahan.
You're right. I haven't thought of it. That's a tough race.
Probably give it.
And
I get it. You probably give it to Mike Vrabel. You know how that award goes. You usually give it to the new coach coming into a new regime, and he has
turned them all the way
destroys the expectations in the preseason. So I wouldn't be surprised.
But if you're gonna
if
go
Mike
the
Vrabel
Kevin
gets it.
route, there's a lot of great coaching that's happened this year with bad situations. So
The Euro step Dougie is nuts.
Brock was frying yesterday. That was the one of the we've gotten some game of the years the past couple of weeks. That was a joy to watch. But yeah, 49ers, give me them over the Seahawks.
And they're balanced. Like, and you mentioned Ryan.
CMC has been healthy.
It's
somehow.
CMC, and it is. Like CMC is the engine. Like that's the no dust statement of the day. But like Juwan Jennings isn't necessarily like a true number 1 receiver. They lost Brandon Ayuk, and they're still doing this. Like. It's just impressive. Like
Perfect
good,
example
good
of how
coach matters.
I was gonna say
Sometimes
perfect
less is
example
more. And
of how much good coaching matters. Jack, or I want to say this quick stat too. I saw this. This is wild, guys. Only quarterbacks in NFL history with consecutive 13-win seasons: Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Sam Darnold. Jack,
And we took Baker.
before we wrap up, I know it's not 'tis the season yet, but we're getting closer. Welcome back to Cleveland, Pedro Avila.
Oh yeah, the innings eater is home.
By the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
this offseason's been bad.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Wait,
If we had
am I
done literally
disrespectful
like
asking who that is.
if we had done like one positive thing beforehand, I'd be like, oh, like we're forming a nice little like string it together. Like we'll find our way back to 84 wins here. Like we did. No, this is bad. This is a very, very bad offseason. Very, very bad things are happening. Your lineup was the worst of all time, and it's got no better. Things are looking very bad in Cleveland unless something very big happens in the next 2 months.
Rob, I have
bad?
to say, you got to get in with us on Pedro Avila if you can't get in with us on anything else. He was
No,
missing.
here's my thing.
He
though.
was
I'm
missing
worried
in
he got
action
too
last
mainstream.
year.
I'm worried he
Yeah.
got too main. There was a time when he was like,
There was a time.
he was the last guy on the roster as a reliever, and he was beloved by like a very small niche part of the community.
like last year?
No,
2
2 years
years
ago.
ago.
Okay.
We didn't bring him back last year. And then eventually became this whole like, la da da, everyone loves the long reliever. It was like, it's just like, it's kind of dumb when everyone loves the long reliever. Like, it's like loving the long snapper. Like, it's a little bit too
Okay.
much.
It
But
was really
we
just
brought
one
him
good
back.
meme. It was one good meme that kind of went viral, and it was very true. Like he's an innings eater. He's a long reliever.
He's just like your 74 overall, like just runs out there, does his job,
Got
comes back in after.
Got you.
Very, very small signing in the macro.
And he's back.
And he's back.
And
So
he's
it's
back.
just
But
like-
you think
streets
now
love it,
now,
but-
so
you're
now
saying
when
there's
Logan
too
Allen
many
gets his
people in
shit
the
curbed
streets.
in 4 innings, you get to watch Pedro Avila instead
But you
of.
think there's too many people loving it in the streets now? You think it's mainstream?
Yeah, I think
lost
there's a
its
chance
luster.
he comes out and goes like 6 ERA and gets
I don't-
DFA'd by May.
but Jack, I don't know that it was because like I didn't even see that
Hey,
that,
he's
that,
so
that
negative
news.
on them boys.
I don't know because the news
No, I'm
didn't
so
come,
out.
like,
I'm
the
so
news
out.
came out,
I'm
and I
so
didn't even
out.
see anything for like an hour.
Because it's Pedro Avila. Like the fact that
It's
if
Avila,
any other
not
team
Vila,
in baseball
Avila.
signed him, it wouldn't even been a tweet.
well, because I don't. Was he even in?
No, he was in
MLB?
Japan last
Yeah,
year.
that's probably.
We had to bring him back
Okay.
by way of
Yeah, no,
playing.
enough on that one.
All right, I didn't think it would spark that much of a debate.
Meow.
Nick, let's tell everybody about
Meow.
FanDuel and get out of here.
Yeah,
Literally.
guys, because
Literally.
we've got a great Monday Night Football matchup this evening. The Rams back in prime time. There's probably some money on the table. You know how fast NFL game days move. One big play and everything changes. That's why live betting on FanDuel is truly a game changer, because with FanDuel, you can bet in real time while the game unfolds. If the score just flipped, jump on a new spread or live money line. If a wide receiver is starting to heat up, bet that next touchdown score or total yardage. You got some good receivers going tonight. Puka Nakua, a little action on that. Little Drake London. Why not? Think a drive's going to stall out in the red zone, take that live field goal prop, or just fade the total. Live player props, team totals, drive results, updated spreads, next play markets. It's all right there. It's fast. It's fun. With FanDuel, your live bets move as quickly as the game does. So whether you're riding the momentum or just fading the hype, FanDuel is going to put you right in the middle of every single moment. Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download their app and bet the NFL live with us all season long. Must be 21 plus, present in select states. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
All right, Jack, you know what to do. We've done it plenty of times before. Take it away.
All right, let's do it. We're starting out with a little bit of a whole lot of Monday Night Football, actually. Kyle Pitts, 40 yards, tonight coming off a great game. Was it 2 weeks ago now, I believe? Bijan Robinson, anytime touchdown. Just a classic bet right there, the Rob. Like, that's how you know the Rob is in the parlay, if you see a Bijan anytime touchdown up there on the screen. Then Puka, he's been going off in primetime recently. Puka, anytime touchdown. Guys, we haven't bet on the Delaware Blue Hens in the parlay in just about 2 or 3 weeks. It is time to let the Hens back out of the kennel. They got the Grizzlies of Missouri State coming into town. We're taking Delaware money line. Kyle Pitts, 40 yards. Bijan, anytime touchdown. Puka, anytime touchdown. Delaware Blue Hens money line.
Do hens live in kennels?
They live in.
It was coops.
Oh, it's coops.
I could be. I'm not a farmer.
Hey, me neither, brother.
Definitely not kennel.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I mean, like
canines.
some animals are in kennels, so similar concept, right?
Fair enough.
6-7.
Yeah, there we go. Go Blue Hens.
All right, appreciate everybody tuning into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pidone, Rob Watson. Shout out Garage Beer. Shout out our great friends at the FanDuel Sportsbook. We'll be back tomorrow, same people, same time. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Go Browns, and we'll talk then.
Did we get some